Hey,
Well,
Sue.
hello there, Kim.
How are you?
We're back.
Hey, everyone.
Wait, there's more. We're back.
There's always more.
There's always more. You know what, Kim? I'm really sick of this cold weather.
I know. I'm a little nasally today. It just because it gets warm and cold in every other
Oh,
day.
gosh, we got that little tease of the, 60-degree weather. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bam, we're back to freezing and wind. Ugh.
Yeah, I think everybody's feeling it.
Yeah, I think I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready to get out on the boat.
Yeah. So I thought about I don't know if you notice, but when I'm going into these gastric sleeve groups, I notice a lot of people are petrified about their stomach stretching, or oh my gosh, I overate and now I feel like my stomach um, has stretched.
Yeah, I feel
And
like we talked about that briefly in an earlier episode.
yeah,
But I'm glad we're kind of focusing on just that topic because I'll raise my hand. I am always worried
yeah,
about that. Um, my mom and sister, I've mentioned before, having bypass, that was always a big fear for them too. And did I stretch my stomach back out? What caused it? Is that a real thing? So I was a little nervous knowing that and going into this sleeve surgery if I was going to be in the same boat. And I'm definitely guilty of it. Just that worry, the anxiety of did I just damage everything I did? Um, yeah, so tell me what you found out.
so yeah, I wanted to know if this was a myth or if it was true and even possible. And yes, it's possible, but not in the way we think it's possible. And so, what I learned was yes, it does stretch slightly, um, but usually within just the normal range. It doesn't stretch back to the original size of your stomach, obviously, but it's gradual and limited to most of it is what happens is right after early post-op, like in the early days, our stomach is swollen and really tight, and the capacity of food is very small. And then 6 to 12 months later, the swelling decreases, the sleeve relaxes, and then you can eat a little bit more. That this is normal. So, the first 6 to 12 months, like this is all normal. Even when you discover you can eat a little bit more and you're starting to panic, like, I don't feel full, or, I don't feel, I feel like I'm eating more. Well, this is all normal. Years later, the sleep can adapt slightly if you're constantly overeating, frequently um, eating past your fullness, you graze all day, or you rely on slide foods, the processed foods. But even then, it usually expands, modestly, not back to your pre-surgery stomach for sure.
Hmm.
So that was good to know. I was surprised to hear that because I was thinking, oh my God, did we stretch it like back to what, to where it was
Yeah,
before?
I mean that's the only thing we don't know is what did it look like before the sleeve? What
Yeah.
maybe we could find out what it held, what the full capacity of a normal stomach is, and then how much did they take away? So I guess it is kind of silly for me to think, oh, I stretched it back out, to its original size because maybe that's just not physically possible. But any bit of growth that holds more food is is the part I'm afraid of. So
Yeah.
um I I appreciate you looking that up. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I think that would have been a helpful little bullet point in the paperwork from the doctor was, hey, that first 6 weeks, it's really swollen and tight. naturally you're not going to be able to fit that much food in. That's why we prescribe this liquid diet, move to
Yes.
soft, move to fuller foods. And then logically speaking, after a year, this is where you'll be. Just know that you can eat a little bit more, just don't overdo it. Don't get into the bad habits. So that's where I'm kind of stuck. You just highlighted eating past fullness, grazing. I think I've always
Yeah.
been a grazer, and I think
Yeah.
my big lesson was learning when to, and I that I went too far with the eating every 2 hours. That I need to extend that out to 3 or 4, especially when I'm kind of exploring this whole cortisol buzz right now.
Hmm.
So the yeah, that I definitely, because where I plateaued and had my kind of expected weight gain, um, is where I'm stuck again, is I believe that's what I did, especially
Hmm.
working from home. I think I just convinced, like yesterday was just horrible for me. And I was constantly opening the fridge or the pantry. I don't know. And today, not hungry at all. I don't understand why today is totally different.
Yeah.
So weird.
Maybe it's Monday.
I had a rough Monday, guys.
Oh
Look,
gosh.
and I'm
Well,
laughing
what
so
caused?
hard because I keep lifting my arm up. Can you see Tucker?
Yeah, yeah.
He's Tucker's on the podcast today. I like it was like a little
Oh,
surprise.
Tucker Talk. Yes.
It looks so
Welcome
funny.
to
So our
Wait, There's
YouTube
More.
viewers will see, yeah, Tucker weighs 70 pounds. He could stand to lose a couple pounds, so he's tuning in.
Well, I have to laugh, not to get off subject, but um, our puppy Ruby, who will be 2 in March, um, I needed to get some anxiety meds for her because she's getting really bad on car rides, and it was originally Ellie, but now it's
Oh,
Ruby, and so I took her across the street because she's a mobile vet, and I said, I need some anxiety meds for Ruby. And they're like, Ruby? And I was like, yes, believe it or not, it's Ruby. And so they had to weigh her, and she weighs 59.2 pounds, which they said she's fat. And I go, well, she could be my first pet enrolled in this Keep It Off by Sue Bellamy coaching.
yeah, right. That'd be so funny.
And so I told my family, I go, well, Ruby's enrolled in. She's my first pet client.
I love it. I love it. What did we just come up with? Last episode was bariatric buddy, and now we
Yeah,
have the pet life.
yeah, exactly. Oh gosh.
I love it. Well,
So
hey, they're good for
what
us, these
causes?
pups.
Yeah, exactly. So what causes weight regain more often than stretching is obviously high calorie liquids, grazing habits, processed foods, lack of protein, and reduced muscle mass, hormonal shifts, and mindset shifts. It's not,
Definitely
it's
having
rarely,
hormonal.
yes, and it's rarely because the stomach failed. It's because our mindset and our habits have failed.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow. It's a harsh reality, however you want to put it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
and I think kind of where you're getting material to speak on, in these Facebook groups, because there are, I think one of the groups we're in has over 1,000 people. Like, I mean, you
yeah,
definitely want to hear from the masses. And I think that is a huge misconception, or just the blame game. They just want it to be some
yeah,
other reason. And I've been there. I played that game for a little bit.
yeah,
I'm 3 years out, but I'll say for a year of it, wherever it fell, I was definitely wanting it to be somebody else's fault, or, just say, "Oh, my stomach stretched back out." No, I
yeah, yeah,
I definitely went down an alley I shouldn't have gone down, and I'm trying to turn back onto a main road and get on track here. So
yeah,
I agree with that. I think that's so true.
yeah. And then I was surprised, like signs that your sleeve has adapted is you can eat significantly more, you rarely feel restricted, and you don't feel full with protein.
Okay.
And they suggest, like, if that's happening, you should talk to your bariatric provider.
Okay. So if
And,
protein isn't making me feel full, they're saying that could be your
there,
stomach
it's
has
it could be,
adapted.
yeah, it could be a sign that your stomach has adapted.
Okay. And you're saying by adapted you mean stretched out beyond where you
Yeah,
wanted it. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then, and just some important perspective is that, you always have to remember that the surgery was a tool. It doesn't maintain the weight for you.
Right.
It's supposed to support you. And long term success obviously comes from protein first eating, strength training, structured meals, eating slowly, and stopping at the comfortable, like when you're like maybe less than comfortable full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just before that. Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then it says the truth obviously is the stomach can adapt slightly, but regain is almost always behavior, metabolism related, not structural failure. Because I had somebody that was, they said that they had gastric sleeve and it failed. Like, no, 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 no. The sleeve didn't fail, nor the process.
Right.
The human behind the surgery failed.
Yeah. Again, hard to hear, but I
Yeah,
have to agree. I mean, I think we said it in the last episode. We did talk about it being a tool and just coming to that realization that no matter what you choose to do, whether it was the old fen or, everybody, the GLPs, because that's what we were talking about,
yeah,
um, it's still just a tool, whether we've done surgery or we're taking the shots or the new Wegovy pill, whatever it is, we still have to do the work. We still have to get our brain to
yep,
listen to us, get our mental state, get our mindset going in the right direction. And, I mean, they always say you can't love anybody else till you love yourself.
yeah.
Um,
I think that's true.
it's the same thing. Like you can't get through a big life change like this without taking the steps to either love yourself first or make that decision of understanding, which is why they put you through all of that insurance, putting you through the psych eval and all that. It's because you have to grasp that you're not done. And it's always work. Marriage is always work. I mean,
Hmm.
weight loss is always work, or just maintaining a healthy lifestyle. If you want
Yeah,
longevity and good results, it's a daily thing.
yeah,
And you can take a day off. Everybody needs a day off. Everybody needs a health day, but it it's just something that has to be incorporated into your lifestyle. And I took that lightly there for a little bit. So I'm hoping I
yeah,
can get my head right here and keep going strong. So
yeah. So they gave me some ideas for a post-sleep reset protocol without extreme dieting. Um, it's not a starvation reset, obviously. It's just a structure reset. They suggested to return to protein first for the first 7 to 10 days. No liquid calories or grazing during that time. And meals should look like protein, veggie, optional small carb.
okay.
Another is like another thing they're suggesting is a structured eating windows, like 3 meals, one planned protein snack, no mindless bites in between. That sort of structuring your meals throughout the day. Slow down your eating because sometimes and I'm guilty of this too. Like, oh my gosh, if it's something I haven't had in a while, I'm like,
Yeah.
and then before I know it, I'm like, what the heck? Like, why is my stomach killing me?
Yeah, and I think too with some research we've done, I've learned that you're putting air in when you're eating so fast, like by not
Yeah,
going slowly or chewing longer. And it's that air that makes a bariatric patient uncomfortable. Most of our discomfort after surgery or while we're eating or while we get the hiccups, it's all just too much air went in. And it's hard to be so conscious of that, of like, okay, I'm just going to eat at 9, 12, and 3, 9, 12,
Yeah,
3 a snack and 6 for dinner or whatever it is. And then it's okay, now I'm on my time schedule. Now it's protein for the first bite you take is protein. I remember my surgeon saying, make it animal protein. Like, don't go for a protein drink, go for a chicken breast. I got that. Check, check, check. Okay. Slow down. And, not drink. And for me, it was not drinking while I was eating. Um,
hmm,
which we've done the beverage episode. You can refer back to the beverage thing. Can't think of anything memorable from that except to not do it 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after. Um, and for me, I just have to like picture my stomach needs the food, stop forcing
yeah,
water in. Um, and then, yeah, just chew slow, eat slow, stop right before you feel full.
yes,
What does that really mean? Use a smaller plate, like you said, veggies and a small carb. Um, Yeah. I mean, and for me, it's kind of a mental thing too. Like I'll get all excited about eating healthy one day. So I'll get like arugula and smoked salmon and some capers and just a little olive oil. And I'm like so excited. But then when it fills up my bowl, because arugula is like really bushy or, like
yes,
just like it looks so big. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't eat that whole bowl. That means my stomach stretched back out. So then I think I have to use the smaller like side bowl thing, and I can't fit anything in there with the
yeah,
arugula. So I'm like, okay, calm down, it'll like all compress and
yeah, yeah,
because you want the dark green food, the capers and the salmon, all that stuff's really good for that whole cortisol route I'm going. And then yeah, then I almost feel guilty that I used the bigger bowl. So it is a mind trip.
yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's crazy. And it says like behavior versus true stretching. How do you tell? Likely behavior driven if you can't stop snacking, you eat fast, and you eat processed foods easily, or you feel full on dense protein and not on carbs. This means restriction is still there, but habits have drifted.
Yeah, habits have drifted for me. Not all those. I don't think well, how do you keep processed food out of your house? I mean, that is
I
almost
know.
every single item in the
Yeah.
grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It
fair.
says tightening structure without dieting is avoid liquid only resets, extreme calorie cuts, and over exercising and cutting out all carbs. Instead, protein anchor every meal, 8 to 10K daily steps, strength training, sleep focus, reduce processed foods, and eat mostly whole foods. Maintenance is structure, not punishment.
Yeah.
And then it talks about, using where does GLP-1s fit in? Well, they may help if hunger feels uncontrollable. They work best when used short term, paired with strength training. Protein intake is protected, and an exit plan to get off of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anything, like you need to have a maintenance plan when the scale gets to that goal number.
Yeah.
Like it's almost the same thing, like you have to have an exit plan
Mm-hmm.
to maintain.
I like how
And
you
they,
put that protein anchor,
yeah,
protein anchored meal. I like that.
yeah. And it says they fail when used without habit rebuilding. Like the shots won't work unless you're rebuilding your habits.
Yeah.
Muscle loss occurs and they replace discipline instead of supporting it.
Hmm.
So, in other words, you're really not doing the work to, to be, to change your habits. You're just using the shot for the weight loss.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that from my memory of fen, and again, I came in after the one got taken off the market.
Hmm.
Um, but I had friends that were on fen, and they, I had my boss. back in Pennsylvania, I remember she lost like 90 pounds without
Mhm.
doing anything but eating licorice, like Twizzlers. Actually, hers were they called
Wow.
nibs or something? But
Yeah, the
like that was
little
her,
nibs.
she would snack on those little nibs all day and she didn't exercise, she didn't eat right, nothing. And I mean, it just, I mean, because I guess that's why it was really just an upper. It was drugs. I mean,
Yeah,
like, I don't know, like
yeah,
how to say that in the 80s,
yeah, yeah,
early 90s, I guess is when that was really big. And I was like, this just doesn't seem right. You know, and it wasn't effective, obviously. I mean, I know she
yeah,
struggled after that, but found a way to maintain and found kind of like her happy weight. But um yeah, it's not going to be successful or have the longevity for the rest of your life. That's just a
yeah,
temporary thing. And
yeah,
she came up with a plan because she had to, but she didn't have that going in, and I don't think they had a lot of information back then either.
yeah.
Um, it was just the newest slim fast option, you know.
Exactly, exactly. And at the end of the day, the sleeve is still a tool. And your identity and your structure are the drivers of that tool.
Yeah.
And until people get set in that mindset, it's difficult for them to understand the whole process and what, you know, how to retool your thinking that this whole surgery is is giving you a tool to begin a healthier life.
Yeah.
And people just don't know how, either they don't have the direction, because I still feel it all goes back to like having that support,
Hmm.
in the crucial moments after surgery.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's just like anything. When you join a gym, you're gung ho for the first 2 weeks. When I started losing weight, I was gung ho and I was like reciprocating what my body was doing for me. And that's
Yeah,
where my, low self-esteem went up, confidence went up, and low self-esteem went away. Self-esteem went up. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But yeah, and I think then it just with the plateau, I allowed myself to get um like depressed about it or whatever. So
yeah,
yeah, I think it's just huge for the mindset. And
yeah,
if we could have incorporated that a lot sooner, if I knew that, look, you're gonna want to go down this alley, don't do it.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's not what that sleeve solved. It only solved the size of your stomach. It did not
yeah, yep,
solve your bad habits and
yep,
your whatever that may be.
yeah, yeah. So I hope some of these girls, ladies out there got the message that yes, it can happen, but it's on you to
Yeah.
use the tool the right way
Hmm.
and be
Yeah, I mean,
successful
and
at it.
this wasn't the prettiest episode as far as um what do you say? Like, like hyping someone up, like you're doing a great
Yeah,
job. You are. I mean, like we
yeah,
can we can always revisit what we usually say, but
yeah,
sometimes, like Joyce Meyer always says, I can't just give you dessert every time I speak a message.
yeah.
Sometimes I have to give you the meat and potatoes. And
Yep,
I
yep.
think I think
Sometimes the
this,
hard truth is hard to hear, but
yeah.
if
Yeah.
you want to get it right, and you want a better understanding of, how the process works, sometimes the truth is needed that,
Yes,
hey,
absolutely.
you're out there, you got to put a little more effort in.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you bringing this topic to the table. I think we all needed to hear it. I know I did.
Yeah. But
Tucker
with that being
decided.
said, if anybody's got any comments or questions,
Yeah, we're
please,
waiting for those questions, guys.
yeah,
We
come
we would love
on.
the interaction.
Yes, I know you're out there. The first one that gives us a question, I'm going to send you a free copy of my Keep It Off book.
Yay!
So
That's
come
a good
on,
idea,
somebody be
Sue.
our first comment or question, and we'll
Love it.
announce the winner on a next episode.
Awesome. Good
All
idea,
right. With
Sue.
that being said,
Wait,
wait,
there's
there's
more.
more.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right. Thanks, guys. Bye.